All right, this October we're doing a special limited series, Spooky Saturday, where we discuss some haunted things in geology. We start with the story of Pompeii. In the year 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted, leading to a story that is now known around the world. It began with a series of tremors around the area, but was assumed they were the same common tremors that affected the region so often. After 4 days, the eruption began in earnest. At first, there was smoke that rose from the mountain, followed by a rain of pumice. And while unpleasant, this stonefall wasn't particularly destructive, but it did herald a more terrible danger that was coming. We have written records of the eruption from Pliny the Younger, who wrote about his experience witnessing it from across the Bay of Naples. His story includes the mission led by his uncle Pliny the Elder, who led the fleet to evacuate Pompeii. While the fleet managed to take many to safety, Pliny the Elder was not so fortunate. It is thought that he had the poor fortune to encounter a pocket of toxic gases released by the volcano. The evacuees may have lost their homes and been forced to settle in new places, but they were spared the terror that came next. Less than a full day after the pumice began to fall, Vesuvius unleashed its pyroclastic flows. Pyroclastic flows are superheated clouds of toxic gases filled with dust-fine volcanic glass. These flows can reach over 1,000 degrees and move hundreds of miles per hour. These flows are what finally sealed the fate of Pompeii, with waves of burning tephra, ash, and pumice settling in layers up to 6 meters deep in places. In the aftermath of the eruption, there was a period of relief work, with the Emperor of Rome even coming personally with imperial funds to try and aid relief. But ultimately, no significant recovery or rebuilding happened. Survivors and settlers lived in a makeshift site for until the 5th century, but they never reestablished a city there. There was some looting, especially things like the marble statues, and salvage of building materials from exposed upper floors. But eventually Pompeii faded into history and was forgotten. Several later eruptions of Vesuvius buried the ruins further, reaching a depth that hid the existence of the site so well that people thought the terrain was just a curious natural feature. In the 1700s, construction work began finding ruins of buildings with names and artwork related to the lost city. This was considered a bragging rights scenario, but not much more. Later excavations found that the hollows in the ash were actually the casts of bodies that had been buried. They began filling these casts with plaster and later resin, and began to see the ghosts of a long past era. The famous figures, as seen above, are their final moments frozen in time. These ancient ruins have been preserved for thousands of years because of the ash, protected from the weather, sunlight, and air. Pompeii is a mass grave that was sealed away from the world. Kind of spooky to lose an entire city in a single day.